Teacher Mpamire, let me start with this one. What inspired you to become a comedian?
Well, it comes from different steps. Right from childhood, I wanted to be a comedian. I wanted to be more in journalism, but naturally, I started doing comedy as a newsreader on assemblies in primary section, but I had that special talent of imitating people. I loved imitating voices of teachers. Some teachers were funny, so in primary school, when the teacher is not around, you pretend that you're a teacher and then you come. Some teachers were not liking it, but from there I started imitating. So I was more with the voices of people. Oh. So that's where I got the inspiration. But there is a man who used to read death announcements on one of the local radio stations in Uganda. So because I grew up with my grandmom, my grandmom, every time I was close to her, and those old people normally listen to death announcements on a radio station. So I got used to the person who was reading that voice. Yes. So from there, that's when I started doing, you know, comedy is about making people laugh. As long as I could do that thing before students, they could laugh, and that's where I got the inspiration. But that one is on the voice, but then there is an inspiration from the character of the president. All right. Yes, because that is the main step for the president's comedy. That was like in 2002. The swearing-in ceremony of the president of Uganda, still Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Yeah. He invited one of the comedians in Zambia, Chilabombwe, Copperbelt. His name is Ben Philly. Ben Philly is a legendary comedian in Zambia. Okay. So this guy came on stage. I went with my dad. He came on stage and started acting the voice of the president of Uganda and the voice of the president of the late Nelson Mandela. And then a lady, a news anchor on CNN called Christine Amanpa, somehow like that. So this guy inspired me. I was like, are Ugandans too lazy to act their president? How can a president hire someone from Zambia? Are we too lazy to do that? So out of that humble background, I got that simple inspiration, and I said, let me try to act as the president. But it wasn't easy because of the size. Yeah, but everything starts step by step. Yeah. So I started reading articles of the president. President is grantor of Proverbs. Sometimes his journalists could write articles about him. Then they end with Lunyankore Proverbs. All right. That's when I started feeling the act of the president. Yes. Nice.
I have been told that in normal life, Teacher Mpamire is a teacher. How do you manage to be a teacher and then to act your comedy?
Yeah, basically, I became a teacher by choice, not by birth.
All right. By choice.
By choice.
I know.
Yeah, so
life.
Teacher by choice. Life pushed me to that. Yeah, in Uganda, life can push you to every career. So in senior 6, they give us choices. As you go to university, they tell you what you want to do. First choice, you can say, I will do law. Second choice, I will do hotel management. Third choice, I will do drama. So I put teaching at a certain choice, and was like, if the government fails to give me, I can go for music, dance, and drama. But they gave me teaching, and because I loved teaching, I said, let me go for it. But my long-term dream was to join entertainment. So I went and for education, and I got a degree in education at Chambogo University. Then after Chambogo University, I said, I need to push my dream. I said, let me go and as an evening student at Makerere University. That's when I joined the drama. So I have a bachelor's degree in drama and a bachelor's degree in education and a certificate in comedy writing and performing from American Comedy Institute, New York.
So you studied there?
Yeah, from there, I gave up on the books. No more studying.
So from USA, you gave up?
I gave up. You can't go to US and study and then you come back and study again locally. Yeah.
Nice. Are you happy with the comedy industry in Uganda, in Africa, in East Africa? Let me say.
Well, we'll start with Uganda because charity begins at home. Yeah. But some people don't stay at home long enough to begin it. So I'm so happy about comedy in Uganda, where we have come and where we are going. Comedy in Uganda has just been embraced by Ugandans. This is not something that was that is compared to music.
Sure.
Comedy in Uganda has come step by step. We have just opened ourselves. We are by early 2000s. We only had one comedian, Pablo, legend, Pablo, and a local comedian called Amot. So from there we started testing the fruits of comedy. We haven't even tested the fruits of comedy, but we started step by step. Yeah. Then towards the late 2000, towards the end of 2000, we had a comedy workshop by South African, Al Proja, and another one. So they came and came with what we call Stand Up Uganda. Stand Up Uganda, it was a workshop where they were looking for the funniest Ugandan.
All right.
So these guys made auditions. They called upon. We were like 100, and the people came. You were given 2 seconds to do comedy. So out of the blue, they told me, you are the next. I only had the character of the president. Right. So I went there and I did my things of President Museveni. The white guy from South Africa said, it's a no for me. Then another one also said, what is he acting? It's a no. Hadn't it been one Ugandan who was also doing auditions called Abe Muchibi? He told them that this guy is acting the Ugandan president. Said, hey, he's acting. For us, we didn't know what he was acting. So I said, by the time I did that, it opened doors. I became fourth in Stand Up Uganda. It was won by Pablo, then Salvador, then Daniel Omara. Sure. So that's how we started comedy in Uganda. And I'm happy that all those who were part of the workshop, the top 5 are still in the industry. Yes. So the comedy has evolved, although we have more local comedians than international comedians. Yeah. But with time, we are nurturing them to become better. We have now workshops. We have our friend called Timon. He's organizing workshops for the aspiring comedians. Then that is locally. It has enabled us to move to different countries. At least I'm happy that I've represented Uganda, in Rwanda many times. I've been to Kenya, Tanzania, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, South Africa. I've been in Denmark, Estonia, Finland, US many times, UK. That means people have started embracing our comedy. It's only that I've not done any show in heaven. But I will do it there. So I'm happy. But then that is Uganda. East Africa, I'm also happy for what Gen Z is doing. This is very, very nice. Yeah. And I appreciate my brother Messe, who is doing great work with these young comedians. I'm very happy that how Rwanda is embracing comedy is even quicker than how Ugandans embraced it. Because for us, we started with 4 people in the audience, no payment. You go on stage, you foot from home to stage, you go back on foot.
Yeah, that is
you
nice.
Survive on food, they bring you chips and chicken as a payment. That after the show, you'll go and they buy you a bottle of soda. Yeah. No audience. But here in Rwanda, young comedians have got a chance of performing for an audience of more than 500 or 600. Right. That's a great, great opportunity. Also, credit should be given to Arthur Nkusi, one of the founders of comedy in Rwanda. He's the first comedian to host Ugandan comedians here, and we really did our work. But he has taken it to another level. I'm just happy that these young comedians can perform in front of a big audience. And what makes even Rwanda audience better on my side, because it's one of my best audience, when they come for show, they are ready to laugh.
They are just there to
laugh. Yeah. not like where we don't have, not like in Uganda where sometimes we perform where there is no word less.
Just looking at
in Uganda it is more, and then you sit in an audience where someone has taken more.
I know.
So you perform, and when it's time for comedy, it's time for comedy. In Uganda, the challenge we have, you perform in a place where there are TV screens. Now, to make matters worse, shows are on a Thursday, where one of the weak teams in England is playing Ladies' Night, Manchester United. So people have to make noise when Manchester has scored. So when they make noise, you think, you have done the best joke. Kumbe, Man U has scored. But here it is about comedy. When you go to Camp Kigali, it's comedy. So I'm happy about that. Africa, I'm happy that we have representatives, Trevor Noah, Basket Mouth, Clean the Drunk, all those guys have inspired us. Kansima has inspired us more. So I'm happy that African comedy is evolving. I can't wait to have comedians from Rwanda also being hosted in Uganda.
All right. Thank you so much. Fally, mu byo yavuze wenda n'umwanya dufite wenda tuwukoreshe neza. Bisobanuye iki kuba ashima ibikorwa byawe, ashima ibikorwa byanyu nk'aba comedians, ariko noneho hanashima na audience yacu? Ni ikintu cyiza, ni experience nziza kuri wowe. Bisobanuye iki niba Teacher Mpamire avuga ngo abanyarwanda baza muri Comedy Camp Kigali baje kwishima? Bisobanuye iki kuri movement yacu?
Ni ikintu gikomeye cyane tutagomba gufata for granted nk'abanyarwenya cyangwa abanyarwanda muri rusange, kuko iyo aje hano buri gihe arambwira ati mwe ntago mwamenya ukuntu mufite abantu barenze ko nta handi murajya, muzazi wacu murero. Ariko ni ikintu gikomeye cyane kiduhana, kitwereka ko dugomba gushyiramo imbaraga nagaru kwirara, ku buryo n'abanyarwenya nk'uko abisorejeho bagomba gukora cyane, ku buryo bagomba, isoko ni rinini, ntabwo tugomba kurimita. Ntabwo audience y'abamuhinde bamushomba ari gens gusa, no muri Uganda bafite abantu, muri Kenya avuba na Churchill zaza hano, nzamukuzanira hanga
hano ni mu rugo.
Hano ni mu rugo. Ni ikintu rero gikomeye kuri industry yacu. Twe dushaka kuba tubona tutari mu kazi, ariko mu by'ukuri ikintu nabwira abanyarwenya bagenzi banjye turi mu kazi kanateye ubwoba, ko Teacher Mpamire igihe yatangiye guperformingira ntabwo nari nzi icyo nzaba cyo, ariko ubu ngubu turimo turahura tugakora. Rero ni opportunities ziteye ubwoba, dushimira igihugu n'abanyarwanda muri rusange.
Uyu munsi ntekereza ko uko ugenda ubazana ari nako bashima n'igihugu, bashima n'abanyarwanda. Ni ikintu cyiza kuri ya brand yacu ya Visit Rwanda, ariko nk'uko Teacher Mpamire avuze ati comedy uyu munsi muri Afrika imaze kwaguka, dufitemo aba legend, dufitemo abakora, ariko no mu Rwanda arifuza ko rimwe na rimwe tuzajya tujya no hanze. Uyu munsi utekereza iki noneho gutangira kwaguka? Teacher Mpamire niba afite show Uganda, tujyeyo tumusupporting, tujyeyo n'ahandi Kenya gutyo. Uyu munsi turi gukora iki kugira ngo twaguke nk'uko nabo baza hano mu Rwanda?
Uyu munsi turi gushyiramo imbaraga, naho zembibwira n'abanyarwenya bagenzi banjye, ntago Gens ariyo final destination. Hari igihe umuntu azayabona platform akahita abona ko ibintu byaciyemo, ariko icyo gihe urebye hafi cyane ugomba kurenga platform ya Gens. Nimba mu Rwanda turi miliyoni 14, ukamenya ko hari n'izindi miliyoni ingahe ziri Uganda zakugirira akamaro, hari izindi ziri muri Kenya. Numva ngo tureke kwifunga, tuve muri box tugende tujye Uganda. Aho zabimbaza kararambwira ati ndi gutegura igitaramo, uzampa ba Gens baze, naho gati ngomba kubashaka bakaboneka. Ni ikintu ndi gukoraho nkizemo n'imbaraga, kuko hari n'abanyarwenya baje bakoresha n'igiswahili bari kumbwira ko bashaka kujya gukora muri Kenya, Tanzania, ndi kubashakira uburyo bajyayo kugira ngo barusheho kwagura ibikorwa byabo. Ni ibintu turi gushyiramo imbaraga kandi n'ibyahangaha nta cyangiritse.
All right. Nice. Mpamire, what do you say about Comedy Store? Are you happy with the movement Comedy Store? Are you happy with the audience who attend the Comedy Store?
Yeah, I would say I'm so happy, and I thank Alex Muhanji, the founder or the CEO of Comedy Store, for what he has done. Alex has done a wonderful job of nurturing young comedians too. Alex has done so by giving them platform, because what I believe in is that once these young comedians get where to perform, that is the first step in their journey to stand-up comedy or to their success. If at all there are no platforms, then it's not easy to think about comedy as a career. Right. You get. But by the mere fact that Alex Mohanji brought these people. We have many local comedians, especially the duo comedians, those who perform two on stage like Madrat and Chico. If it had not been Comedy Store, we wouldn't have seen a number of comedians. And that gives audience a chance to see a variety of humor. Because Madrat and Chico performs differently. Madrat and Chico perform differently. Then we have Maulan and Rain, Mary Hearts, Tumbeto, and many others. All these came from Alex Mohanji. And I like the fact that he also balances the humor on stage. Sometimes English comedians come in, sometimes this and this. And his audience is so big. He has given platform for even musicians, upcoming TikTokers. So he gets a variety of entertainment. Basically, stand-up, music, and whatever you can do to entertain. It has now grown up into something big. He can invite Diamond Platinums. So Alex has done something good. My only challenge is maybe calling it Comedy Store. When you say Comedy Store, you expect a 70% of comedy, but sometimes you find out that there are more musicians or more non-comedians than comedians. So at the end, there is a way it affects our flow in terms of content creation. Because if it's entirely comedy, you expect to sit down as a comedy writer. To some of us who write comedy, you expect to present content of like 15 minutes. And you know, this gives you mileage in terms of creativity, because you just know that I can now create a 1 hour stand-up comedy, 30 minutes. But when you go to a stage where they say, give us 5 minutes, and as you give 5 minutes, as you are on 4th minute, you find someone raising a small paper, wind up, wind up, wind up. Sometimes they tell you wind up, Bebe Cool wants to go for another show. So there is a way this limits us, and you don't think beyond
so
5 minutes.
Flow, right?
It kills the flow, and then sometimes it limits your creativity, because that means every time you will go to Comedy Store, you will produce something for 5 minutes. For someone who has a career in comedy, it affects you. But for someone who is just looking for money, Alex says, why are you bothered when I'm going to give you whatever you want? So, but all in all, that is his business. We are not the ones who started his business. But all I can say, he's doing a wonderful job. He's one of the pioneers of stand-up, and he was part of Stand-Up Uganda. He thought outside the box and said, besides performing, let me host all comedians together. That's why today is Wednesday. Yeah, today is Wednesday. You know, you are, Uganda is 1 hour.
1 hour.
I don't know whether they have already started performing, but it's at night. Salvador is going there. So I'm happy for Comedy Store.
All right, thank you so much, and then thanks for blessing our show, and I'm very happy. As I told you, I'm a big fan. Keep inspiring young generation to the comedy. Fadi merci wakoze kunzanira umuvandimwe for the first time. Imana ibaha ibyo mwifuza, ngenda bizi neza ko abantu bazaza muri Gens Comedy bakishima. Kuwa kane ujye uvuga kuwa kane babyari
kuwa kane ejo kuza kudushyigikira Camp Kigali.
All right, so arakoze cyane Fadi merci, arakoze cyane Teacher Mpamire adufashe kugira ngo twumve ishusho ngari uyu munsi Uganda imeze gute muri comedy, u Rwanda ruziki muri comedy, byose ni byiza kandi
and is the president watching? Or?
Of course.
Yeah, special say message. But is he watching?
Yeah, he's
on which camera?
That one, that one.
This one. I want to thank the President of the Republic of Rwanda, General Paul Kagame, for empowering the youth to have access to this kind of entertainment. It's not easy. Sometimes to have this kind of entertainment, it's a new form of entertainment, but I'm so happy about the President. For many times, we have come here. Hadn't it been the peaceful environment that has been created in the country, we wouldn't have accessed as it is in Uganda. If it had not been the peaceful country environment. So we thank you, the President, Your Excellency, President Kagame, for this. And we I kindly request that one day I meet the President, because sometimes I act as his comrade, General Kaguta Museveni. So I think I will just change the voice. Yes, General Paul Kagame, I want to thank you for allowing these young people to have a comedy platform. because comedy reflects what happens in the society. These young comedians should have a good message that should be geared towards Pan-Africanism. Yeah? So I want to thank you, and one day I'm going to meet you, so that with discussion now we can empower this young generation, the Gen Z. Because now, the first time I saw the Gen Z, I thought the Gen Z are these ones in Kenya who are rioting every time. But now when these Gens of Rwanda are doing comedy, making people laugh, and laughter is the best medicine. No, now that's very good. I wish you well. Thank you.